Hi, I'm Nikki from Premier School of Dance. I hope you find this web tutorial helpful, and remember, practice makes perfect. Today we're going to show you how to sew ribbons on flat ballet shoes. So we have in front of us, this is what you will need, of course your ballet shoe, new ribbons, a needle and thread, and today we're using a baby pink, but if you have an apricot colour that will be even better, a pen, some scissors, and a lighter. So first thing we'll do is we'll just pick up the shoe and have a look at it. Some people unfortunately cut the cord, the elastic, too short. Keep the elastic at its correct length, tie a knot, of course put the foot in the shoe to make sure you know how tight you need to tie it. This one's already been worn. Tie it into a bow, and then once the shoe is on, you simply tuck it underneath. I have seen people remove them all together and it actually destroys the shoe. So just do a simple bow and tuck it under once it's on the foot. Now we have some new ribbons here. When you get the ribbons, it comes in one piece. So we need to open it up and cut it into fours. So if you measure it out into a half piece, and then we cut it. And then we measure it in half again. And then we cut it. And just note, if we look closely at the ribbon, there's a flat and a shiny side of the ribbon. We want to make sure that we have the shiny side out and the flat side in. Now, firstly, we're just going to show you an example of how to stitch it on one side of the shoe. But when you do get new shoes, make sure you mark it left and right. So this is a left foot. So we just need to mark in the shoe. And of course, you can always put your name in it so that you don't ever lose your shoe. So this is an L for left. Now, we're going to get our needle and thread, which we've already threaded. And we're going to look at where we actually need to sew the ribbons on the shoe. So we fold the heel down as far back as possible. Try not to push it forward. We'll just do a demonstration of what not to do. So don't fold it too far forward. You want to fold it as far as possible. And that's where we're going to sew the ribbons from. Now we're going to get the ribbon and place it at an angle so that when the foot is in the shoe and we wrap it around the ankle, there's no gaping, because if you sew it straight up and down, you're going to get a gape. We need to follow the natural line of the ankle, which is about 30 degrees, pointing towards the toe of the shoe. Now you'll notice that Tony's folded a little bit underneath, and what that does is just make sure that it doesn't fray at the end. So you can fold it over once or twice, depending on your preference. Place it at an angle and hold it in place with your thumb and finger before you start to sew. Now we're going to do some stitches around the edge. You might find a small, finer needle will be more appropriate for this work. And you want to make sure your needle's nice and new, not blunt, so it's too hard to push through. Now in a ballet shoe, there's actually a lining. So we have a leather ballet shoe with a cotton lining. When we do the threading, we want to make sure we're just going through the inner lining of the shoe. Certainly not through the leather so it can be seen on the other side. So you just need to do some neat little stitches, evenly placed, around the side, and then the bottom, and then the other side of the ribbon. And then we'll just continue now across the bottom. And of course you want to make sure when you thread your needle that you have a lot of thread on it so you don't have to stop, start and re-thread your needle. Now we're coming close to the casing here, which is the casing that holds the elastic. It's really important not to sew over the casing. The elastic needs to be able to move freely through the casing. So we just go as close as we can to the casing, and then we stitch across the top of the ribbon as well. And once we've finished, we loop, knot and cut the thread. We do a couple of stitches to make sure that it doesn't come undone. And then we'll give you a close-up so you can have a look at how that stitching has come. So as you can see, we've gone around the side, around the bottom, around the other side and across the front, but it hasn't gone into the casing. It's on a nice slight angle, and the inside bit's tucked underneath. So it's folded over. We're not going to get any fraying on the bottom. So all you need to do is repeat that on the other side. We're not going to do that today. You can do that at home. But what we will do is just look at using a lighter on the end of the ribbon. So once you place the foot into the shoe and put the ribbons on, we'll show you how to actually cut and then fray. So perhaps we'll do that once we show you our tutorial on how to tie ribbons.